And one of the reasons why I associated with it, those symptoms was because when my mom had a stroke a few years ago,
she had the same.
Yeah, she had the same.
Hey guys, what's up? What's going on?
What's up?
Happy New Year. What's going on? It has been a minute. Welcome to Live Sessions.
Live Sessions.
It's been a minute. Just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you have everything you wish for, all your intended goals. Wishing you happy health, wealth, and everything else. What has been going on with you? Again, this is Table for Four, a family conversation podcast, a T44 Media Group production. I want to welcome you to the live sessions where we talk about different stories, topics in the headlines, what's going on in social media, our thoughts, opinions on everyday issues, especially parenting, health, and everything else in between. So we want to just kind of wrap it up where we're like, Happy New Year, but has it been happy for you so far?
Or for us.
It has been a quite unique start of the year. But we had the great opportunity to go to Times Square this year. And it is a first. As a New Yorker, as a native New Yorker, that is not one thing you do, is go to Times Square. And y'all can say what you want to say, whatever the case may be, but it's not something we do. So we had the opportunity to do so. We took the advantage of it, and we ended up having a really great time. And it was it was something we were like, you just got to do it once.
Yeah.
The weather was right.
Listen.
The circumstances were right.
The weather was right. We didn't have to be there 9 o'clock in the morning. We showed up a few hours before. You know, we had a hookup, and then that's it.
Yeah, basically.
So we were able to get in, see the ball drop.
We got
caught in the rain.
Yeah,
a couple of friends with us, a couple of coworkers.
Yeah, we did get caught in the rain.
And it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly a good time.
Yeah.
You know, like if you ever guys have a chance to do it, go do it. But don't wait 4 o'clock in the morning to get in.
Nah, don't be like those people running in after the barricades to kind of get you through. So don't do that. If you have a hookup, please just do that. I don't know about you, but I can't hear you, so I don't know if that's something, if it's on a me thing or is that a...
You can't hear me, brother.
If I can't hear you?
You hear in the headphones? You don't hear me?
I don't hear you. No, I don't hear
you. You hear me now? Because I can hear you on the headphones. I hear you.
You sure you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I hear you.
No, I don't hear you.
You don't hear me?
No.
What about now?
No.
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 No. No.
No.
No.
No.
No. No.
No.
Oh well. As long as I can hear you outside of the headphones, it's fine.
Okay. Because I don't know if that's gonna affect the way you record.
Well, this is going live as this. I'm not editing anything. So.
Oh, okay. I mean, why would you even say that?
I'm not gonna edit it. This is all raw and uncut.
Raw and uncut. This is like we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, we were having technical difficulties because it's been like almost a year since we were last recorded. It's just a lot has been happening last year.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to start and pick up briefly about what was going on last year.
Well, mine's happened towards the end of the year.
Yeah. So me.
Yeah, her. You first. You first.
So. Okay. So I guess it's a mixture of many things. When it comes to turning a certain age, your body changes. So that's nothing new. But what was happening is I was having a lot of pains, a lot of chest pain, a lot of just so many factors that came into part where I was in the hospital about 4 or 5 times last year. So I've been having issues with my gallbladder because I do have a stone, but I've been keeping an eye on it. But I would have like these certain gallbladder stone attacks, and what happened was they felt like heart attacks. So they were like very, very bad pain. So I ended up going to the hospital twice for that. So they're keeping an eye, making sure that it doesn't grow, or if it's not in the spot where it's, any blockage, but it's been fine. Then the other thing is that my blood pressure has been out of control. So between school, the gallbladder attacks, my pressure's been going up, but I've been having this unexplained chest pain. So, and other pains from my neck all the way down to my hands. So it was discovered that I have bilateral carpal tunnel. So
that was just recent.
That was just recently discovered. But it came with a lot of explanation as to why I was having all these pains coming from all different areas. So I have 3 pinched nerves. I have decreased fluid on my spinal fluid between a C5 and C6. That's the space right behind the neck. Painful wrist. It's just typing and nursing school and, years and years of typing, and it's been one of those. But the most concerning has been my blood pressure. I've been in the hospital a few times because my blood pressure has been skyrocketing.
Stress-induced.
It's just stress-induced.
So a lot has happened that really
A lot has happened, yeah. So my anxiety, along with my depression, and just a mixture. It's just a catastrophic melting pot of all these things that are just contributing to having so many frequent hospital visits last year. And I'm not the type of person to go to the hospital just to go, oh, I don't feel good. Like it has to be bad for me to go. And so for several times it's been bad last year. Not a lot of people know that. And that's okay because I haven't really shared it. And that's a me thing, not a you thing. Because I feel like with anybody's health, both physical and mental, sometimes people have to deal with it alone. And we don't want to put the burden on other people to kind of understand. Or sometimes we just felt like, it's none of your business either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean that in the most positive sense, because it's a lot. It puts us in a vulnerable state to kind of open up about our own feelings and open up about how we feel about things. But that defeats the purpose of addressing the issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Now in my case,
around
September.
Yeah.
I guess life has been getting overwhelmed, and
life has been life.
Yeah. So, I started having I got a tooth infection. That's how it all started. Tooth infection. I was able to get amoxicillin I went to urgent care first because everything was late. I saw it was on a day off. I went. I got between taking pure amoxicillin. It wasn't even a hybrid. Amoxicillin between vaping and caffeine. It was just a whole recipe for disaster. And I thought I was having a heart attack. I went to work, had to be at work at 1 o'clock in the morning. I went to Tim Hortons. I just happened to pass by Tim Hortons, and I just looked and said, oh, they got the limited edition maple syrup cold brew. So I figured, all right, let me buy it. So I bought it. And then I started around 1 o'clock in the morning, drank it. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I started feeling cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. My body temperature rising up and down. So I was like, you know what? Let me go get a hot chocolate. So I ended up going to buy another hot chocolate and adding more sugar and more caffeine to my system. By 9 o'clock in the morning, I just felt my like my blood pressure, my heart rate was going up. And as I'm driving home talking to her, I was like, I don't feel good. I had to pull over. I started getting tingling all over my face. I started getting blurred vision. I started like my chest was pounding. I'm thinking I'm having a stroke or heart attack. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons why I associated with it, those symptoms, was because when my mom had a stroke a few years ago, she had the same symptoms, tingling, numbness in the lips. So I was like, I'm thinking I'm a goner.
On one side of the face.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm dying. So I pulled over. I called the ambulance, and they did all the blood work. They did everything. I told them what symptoms I had. I told them this is the medication I'm taking, and everything came out normal. No signs of PE, no signs of the heart attack protein in my blood. Nothing. Everything was fine. Yeah. But I still was like feeling like my chest was like almost like muscle vibrations. Mm-hmm. What do you call it? Like fluff?
Like what you were describing was a lot of like heart palpitations.
A lot of my blood pressure was through the roof. My heart rate was through the roof.
Yeah, and the thing is like what kind of prompted that was your Apple Watch, and I'm kind of like I get upset because sometimes
people like don't look at your Apple Watch.
Don't do that.
But I saw my heart rate going up. It was like over 130. So I'm like, and I wasn't feeling well. So and then the Apple Watch said, I said high heart rate. Yeah, it says high heart rate. Yeah. So like I said, I went to the hospital. I got released the same day. I was fine. Mm-hmm. They told me to take off 3-4 days of work. I get to work the week after, but during that whole week I was off, I stopped vaping. I stopped taking amoxicillin because maybe the amoxicillin was messing up my system or something. And then pretty much the doctor, what it turned out was the doctor said that the amoxicillin is such a strong medication that it irritated my esophagus lining, causing me to have acid reflux. Then, so he gave me medication for GERDs, and he also said that I had an anxiety attack. It's my first time ever having an anxiety attack, and he told me to take it easy. So here we are. Throughout the week, I feel like I'm going through withdrawal because I flat out stopped smoking, coffee, everything, and I was getting hives, redness, body temperature going up and down. And then by the 4th day, I was fine. So I went back to work the next day. I got throughout the day, end of my day, I had a small cup of coffee, just milk, no sugar. When towards the end of the day, I started feeling tingly again, and that's when I had to call management. I said, "Listen, I don't feel good. I feel like I need to go to the hospital." And sure enough, my heart rate was going up again. My face was getting red. I had to get ambulance to Good Sam. They took me to Good Sam. They did all the MRI. They did chest X-ray. Still same thing. No signs of PE. Nothing. And that's when the MRI results came. They said I had a pinched nerve in my back. I had a sinus infection on my left. Was the maxillary?
The frontal maxillary sinus.
Sinusitis. But all the symptoms that from the sinusitis wasn't because everything was on the left. Yeah. But all the pain I had in my tooth was on the right. So, but they also show I had a pinched nerve. I had in the back of my neck. I had a pinched nerve in my lower back.
Yeah.
But then it's just been frustrating because in that week, just trying to schedule doctor visits. This happened September 13th, and then by the time I was able to see a doctor, it was October 19th. And then she even called my doctor to see if he could schedule me in faster because I was in hospital again. Yeah. They said, "No, you gotta wait." But luckily, with our insurance, we don't need a referral, so we just go to anybody. Thank goodness. Yeah. So I was able to see neuro, cardiologist. Everything came out normal.
Internal.
It showed up that I had since my blood pressure was up. He gave me medication to bring it down. So now I'm on a low dose of high blood pressure. What else? I saw pulmonary. My lungs are fine.
But now what happens is now that when we discovered a lot of the issues with nasal, having a lot of difficulty because you do use a CPAP machine, they developed that they discovered a polyp. So now you have to go get surgery for that to be removed. Yeah. So that's a very simple surgery, but it's a complex one because it is so close to the brain. You want to make sure that you want to put everything into place. So when you have this brewing of storm of all these different symptoms and stuff like that, It was just a sign that we're just getting old.
Yeah,
But
pretty much. Because everything's been normal.
Everything's been
ENT,
normal.
besides the ENT, I saw the GI
Yeah.
because I was getting stomach cramps, so I have to go get surgery. I have to get colonoscopy done.
Colonoscopy,
You know, my whole issue is with this whole hair.
You want answers.
I want answers.
And
you know,
can't get
I want to know because I don't feel 100%.
I said this to you.
You know, I'll never feel 100%
ever again.
But at least now, like, I got certain answers. You know, some type of.
But you didn't get relief. You didn't get.
I don't have relief. You know, because I don't feel 100%.
But that's the thing. You have to be able to accept the fact that you will never be 100% again. I will never be 100%.
I'm having a hard time.
I know you're having a hard time. And what happens is it takes a toll on, it takes a toll on your mental health because we were very.
That's constantly all I think about.
Yeah, and we were very secretive about that, and I think because we were so secretive, I think holding it in too was another concern. But because we wanted to kind of like deal with it first and understand and just try to get an understanding of what's been going on, and then we'll be able to share that information.
Yeah, but the doctors still don't know. They still don't know what caused it.
But
they just said I had an anxiety attack, and everything I'm feeling is like the lingering effects of the anxiety attack.
Yeah,
because I still get minor like chest vibrations.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to
coldness, hotness. You know, it's almost like you get a bad feeling in your stomach, and then your body just gets cold. That's exactly how I'm feeling.
Yeah, but that's how your brain messes with you. Because remember, this controls everything else.
But I try not to think about it.
But you try not to, but you're doing it. So if you're constantly thinking, "Oh, something bad's gonna happen," something bad's gonna happen. It's just like that thing. Like you're feeding off of energy. If your brain is telling you all these negative things, all these things, negative connotations, this is what's gonna happen. And I think I'm at fault too because I was kind of like not understanding what was his frustration was coming from.
But it was just everything. Her being in the hospital.
Yeah.
Her, in pain management. Her like not figuring out what's wrong with her, and then, and things are just piling up, and it's just like a whole thing, like just a lot of factors that came into play.
Yeah.
And as a guy, like I'm never gonna say that I'm stressed out.
No, you won't.
I won't.
You won't. You won't.
Because my job is to handle things, to handle shit.
Right. But then the thing is like now it's gotten to a point like you can't handle it.
I can't handle it. It's like it's to the point where like my emotions are getting in check, my frustrations, stress, everything is just like, I'm just trying to keep
it's on 100 all the time. So, I'm gonna put in a link for a book that I started for my goal of books to read for this year. Last year I read 35 books last year. My goal was for 40, but I did good. But this is not counting nursing books.
I read 0.
But there's a book that I would love to put an attachment to. It's called Unfuck Your Anger. But there is a series on anxiety, depression, things like that. And I would love for you to take a read at it. It's a simple, quick read. But it tells you about frustration that can be rooted into health. It could be rooted into trauma, and it gives you a guide and a workbook in order for you to figure out. You're feeling frustrated, but now you have to figure out why you're frustrated. So now, because you're mad because you're not getting answers, your expectations and your reasonings and your needs are not being met. So then you take it out on everything else, and your body and your head is saying, ah, and then your body's like, ah, and then everything, ah. So what's the word? Overstimulated. So that's what it is. And trying to keep up with the world as we know it, it is constantly changing. It is very stressful. It is just overwhelming.
Everything is getting so expensive.
It's so expensive.
We live in an expensive state. It's just like I feel like I'm working hard for what?
I mean, I keep telling you that you always have to come from a place of gratitude, because there are a million other people that would love to be in your position. Whether you might not like your position. You may feel like you're not in the best position, but there's others that don't have the capacity to even complain about the stuff that we have. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's always about changing your perspective. And I think that's us as parents.
I'm trying to shift it.
Yeah. And it's
like
hard.
This year,
it's hard.
I've gotten better at it this year. It's
only been a week, my man. It's only been a week, my man. Like, pump the brakes.
You're like, cut out negativity.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I think that for us having,
I'm at a point now where I just don't give a shit anymore. Just
but like, but there's a difference between not giving a shit and being able to understand that there's nothing that you can do about that shit.
Right.
There's a difference, and I think that, like I said this to you before. Like, I'm very proud of you, of your accomplishments. And I think that what you need to continue hearing affirmations for you to kind of like guide you and be like, yo, shit is hard. I get it. But don't beat yourself up if you're not meeting your own expectations. And that's what we have to accept, because this is what happens. Like, life is lifing. Life is fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
But we lean on each other a lot. But I felt this year my goal is to start leaning on others. And I haven't done that. And I feel like it's because we're very resourceful ourselves that we don't feel the need that we need to lean on others. But I think just for our mental state, for our capacity to want to, to reach out and have a community, because I feel like we didn't have the capacity to ask for help. Like, it's just innate for us not to want to ask for help.
I don't like to ask for help.
I don't. But what I'm saying is, I think we have to change the way we think and look for the resources and ask for help. Like, when I went back to therapy, and I was just like, and I was pissed about that. Well, that's another thing. I wanted to go back. We were trying to go back and find different therapy availability and stuff like that. Therapists are not open. The insurance they don't take. They want this. So it's just like so many different loopholes. Ooh, what'd you do?
Oh, whatever's underneath.
There's so many. There's so many things that we had to like jump hoops through, and then we still didn't able to get the help that we need. So you know what I'm saying? So if it's one thing that you're frustrated to try to find the help.
You know what it is? The American healthcare system sucks.
Don't say that.
No, it does.
Because
I want answers, but everything is a freaking referral. You go to other countries, there's one doctor specializing in everything. Everything.
Yeah, but
here, not my specialty. You gotta go to this guy now. Now you go to this guy now. It's all a cash. For me, it's all a cash grab.
Okay, but we've lived here all our lives. We have to accept
I'm because now that everything's happened to me now, so
now
I didn't have to think about it before.
Right. And that's how your perspective has changed. And what happens now is that we're not using our resources to our full capacity. And that is, I think, in part, partially our fault, because it's not so much our pride, because I don't think it's about pride. I think it's just the way that it's called the older sibling syndrome. Like, we're the oldest kids. We're always the most independent, and we don't depend on anybody else. So it's just like, that's really what it is. And I think that sense of responsibility, that sense of being the oldest, we don't need your fucking help. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case. And I think slowly, as we're getting older and slowly seeing the changes within ourselves, that we have to use our resources, and we don't do that enough. We don't go out as much as we should. We don't reach out to people as much as we should. And I think it's a us thing. But I think a lot of things came into part while separating ourselves from everybody else. And I think that's just, again, it's just life. It's just life. And everybody's busy. And things are hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I think that for us to have this open conversation, I've come to the realization that it's important that we have these conversations. It's very important, because it makes us better parents. It makes us better persons, just to deal with all the difficulty that is going on, especially what's been going on in the beginning of 2025.
Yeah,
and, just a lot's been happening, but a lot of good things have been happening too. But I just want to get right into the California fires. Like, what on earth is going on? I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen, it's been very, very, very scary. Very, very scary. And people have been losing their homes. And here's just a clip about some of the stuff that's been going on, especially with insurances.
They're fired. And we're going through this.
Refresh it to start it.
Hi there. I know I'm not
That's fine. You decided not to leave.
I know I'm not supposed to be here, but this is my parents' home,
I know the feeling.
and they just lost. They got canceled from their fire insurance. So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old. They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance. And these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance. So thank you, California insurance companies, supporting residents who pay taxes and love California.
5 houses burning and not a firefighter in sight. They are just stretched that thin, and there's not even structural protection in those areas. And some areas, of course, as you know, the homes are built on the bluff, and those fires just run up the mountains, if you will, and take them out. And of course, many here, people have read that we have no insurance here now. The fire insurance has been canceled on so many people. There's a lot of heat coming off this. Can you see the embers?
And they wonder why people leave California.
First and foremost, you did get your parents out safely.
I live in Sierra Madre, and my parents are in Sierra Madre, but
And now you know that it is under evacuation as well, north of Sierra Madre Boulevard.
yeah, I snuck here. You know, there's a will, there's a way. Probably shouldn't do it, but you know what? Under the circumstances, send me to jail.
They're waving me down.
But what does that say in terms of like trying to figure out life is lifing.
Life is life.
Life is lifing. And what happens is when you have there was things that I was reading about in terms of like it makes me think back of Sandy, right? Hurricane Sandy back I think in 2008, 2009. And when your mom lost her house, the first thing that you would have never think in a million years is that the house would be completely lost. You would never think in a million years, oh, you know, we live by the beach or whatever the case would be, but like homes were destroyed. And there was a big debacle in construction. There was a lot of people doing a lot of fraud. People were not getting their houses given money for their insurances, for payouts and stuff like that. A lot of contractors were just, so
take the money and leave.
And not do the work.
Yep.
So a lot of things come into play when it comes to, you know, checking your insurances and things like that. And now these poor people.
Yeah, but it's a lot of, it's like I said, we don't know the situation if the, you know, the insurance lapsed or maybe they had but it turns out that there's many factors. You know, it could be because now the insurance companies they're losing money.
Yeah. So
everything is high risk now in California. You know, something that would happen every 100 years to be insured, now is happening every couple of years. Isn't that there's a clip like that?
Yeah, we have a
too.
clip here that this explains that in terms of like insurance.
You know, so we don't know if the policy was canceled and they had like 90 days to get a new policy. We don't know.
That's true. We don't know the circumstances.
Or the insurance companies are going bankrupt and they're canceling everyone's policy. You
That's
know,
crazy.
So
It's super sad that the situations like this, but I feel like this happened. I feel like this happened like a few years ago too. Like there was like a large fire. I think it was like 3 years ago or something. That there was another thing, but it wasn't as bad as this though. And I think that's the thing that's just I don't know. It's super sad, you know, sending out prayers to everybody that's out there. Because we had some friends out there, that like lived out there, and we have some other people that we know that are out there, and we're wishing them prayers and safety, because it's to lose a home to a fire. I mean, in any disaster, whether earthquake, fire, you know, water, it's just so sad. And how are you supposed to you know, do shit? like how are you supposed to move on? Home is where your safe space is, or where, you know, most consider their home safe spaces, and now it's gone. And it's like, it's really nobody's fault. The firemen have been so overwhelmed that they're trying to control it from spreading. They can't even put out the fires out in the houses. They're literally trying to stop it from spreading. And it's just like the winds are a factor. Everything else just comes into factor. And it's really, really, really sad, this whole situation with in California. I think there's a one. I think there was a clip that I showed about the insurances. I don't know if you want to play that.
I think it's in my queue. Or
Oh, it's in your queue? I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever you want. I think it was you the one that shared it, right?
Let's see. Was it in? I sent you a bunch of stuff. So no, it's not here.
Did I send it in the notes?
To be honest, I don't.
Let me see if I sent it in the notes.
California Threads, Instagram. Let me see.
No. But it's just sad to.
I'm gonna share this because this is images from.
Yeah.
Share this tab. Here we go. Look at these images.
Oh my god. Where's that from? The New York Times?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Look at this. This is insane.
That's the type of shit you see in the movies, man. That shit is. Oh my god. That is insane. Ay, Dios mío. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
that's crazy.
That is just so sad. Oh my god. And then now if they don't got the insurances, how are they supposed to recover? How are they supposed to start from the beginning if they don't have insurances to cover that? It's God's will. There's no control over that. It's a natural disaster.
Yeah.
But because of the insurances, they're going bankrupt. This is what's happening. They can't afford to keep up.
So how the year started. The death of Jimmy Carter.
President
Right.
Jimmy Carter
Died at 100 years
died
old.
at 100 years. I wanna live to 100, bro.
Then we have the fire. Right. What else? What else happened so far?
I mean, motherfucker, I got notes for it.
But it's New Orleans. The New Orleans thing. That's next.
Well, why are you smiling about it?
Because it's a crazy year so far. We're only 2 weeks in.
10 days in.
Yeah, 10 days in.
10 days in. So
The first thing that happened was the New Orleans thing. That's what.
Right,
first
but that's why you out of order. Like that's why I have notes.
I'm talking about chronological order, not the notes. So first it was.
Jimmy didn't die first. New Orleans was first.
As I'm saying, New Orleans was first. Then Jimmy Carter, then the fire, and then congestion pricing.
See, now you got me frustrated because now I do this in order, and then you're gonna go out of order.
I'm not going. I'm just talking about just the events that happened.
Okay, so you want to talk about Jimmy Carter? Go ahead.
No. He's the president. I don't know what he did. I wasn't born, so I know he was a president.
Oh my god!
That's it.
All right, moving on. Sending condolences for Jimmy Carter who passed away at 100 years.
I thought he was already dead. To be honest.
Wow.
I'm like, that motherfucker died twice. Right, moving forward.
Okay. Anyway.
Moving forward.
Moving on. So, when we first came home from Times Square that day, it was like 6 a.m. We went to bed like pretty late. We went to bed like around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning when we came home. And then like when I got up around 7 or 8 o'clock, there was something on the news already. And I was like, what on earth is going on? So then we saw about this report about New Orleans. And I think what kind of made it so scary was because the attack happened around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So it wasn't as crowded as it would have been like around, at midnight when there have been more people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the opportunity came when this gentleman came and saw the opportunity to do this. Was it something more planned? The first thing he said is like the guy's military.
Yeah, former military.
Former military because of the way of the tactics, the way they approached.
Once they said there were multiple IEDs around New Orleans, I'm like, this guy had to be former military.
Former military. So, but there was more investigation now that the person, I don't know his name personally, but he went ahead and he was using meta glasses to scope and surveil the area.
Yeah.
That to me was like, really? And they did have the footage. We'll show the footage. They did have the footage from him using the meta glasses to survey the area, which is like insane.
So where's the suspect?
Well, they had like, I'm trying to think of the ways of them trying to investigate more, because you even mentioned that they were still finding bombs that he left in coolers all around the area. So he was pinpointing and placing the IEDs in coolers, which they show in certain pinpoints around the area of the event.
That's crazy.
Then they were talking about how it's associated with, yeah.
Let me play this. Share this time.
For the first time, the FBI sharing this chilling glimpse of what they say was part of the planning of Shamsuddin Jabbar's New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans. Recorded on his Meta glasses as he biked around the French Quarter in October, later catching a glimpse of himself in the mirror.
Meta glasses appear to look like regular glasses, but they allow a user to record videos and photos hand-free.
On the night of the attack, surveillance cameras captured Jabbar placing 2 coolers containing what the FBI says were improvised explosive devices on and near Bourbon Street, but neither device ever detonated. One was moved out of the way by someone investigators say had no idea what was inside and had no connection to the attack. The FBI, which blurred this video, says the October visit is one of at least 2 trips Jabbar made to New Orleans prior to the deadly New Year's Day attack that killed 14 people.
Where were the glasses recovered, and did Jabbar wear them during the entire timeline of the attack?
The glasses were recovered on the person of Jabbar, and we believe he was wearing them throughout the evening.
And he was recording the entire time?
So we don't have any indication that he was actually recording, but he was wearing those glasses.
The ATF now says they will retest explosive materials they first believed to be extremely
100%.
rare, but now think could be a more common explosive, as a probe examines Jabbar's
100%
past
he was
domestic and
recording.
international travel, including Ontario, Canada, and Cairo, Egypt.
Whether or not any visits to those countries may or may not have any indication as to the reasons behind this attack in our city.
Today, a moment of silence before the New Orleans Saints took the field against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And last night, hundreds of mourners gathered on Bourbon Street to pay their respects, where we spoke with the brother of Latasha Polk, the last victim to be identified.
She took care of other people's kids. She only have one son, Christopher. We all love her. I wish she was back.
Kathy Park is joining us now from New Orleans, where, Kathy, they are looking ahead to security for some huge events in just a few weeks, including the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras. Hallie, that's right. The mayor says that safety and security here in New Orleans is a top priority, requesting a tactical expert through the White House. And starting tomorrow, an infrastructure plan will be activated ahead of the Super Bowl next month. Hallie?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
That's crazy. So I had a conversation with my mom, because my mom has been doing events. She's been doing large events for the last decade.
Well, she's been part of the Super Bowl.
She's been part of Super Bowl for the last 6 years. I think this will be
Probably
her
more.
7th. I think this is her 7th year doing an event. So when she had a conversation with, I think with management and with, upper management, after the events, they have spiked up security, where she said it's the equivalent of like level orange or level red by guidelines of
like terrorists.
by like terrorists and stuff like that, because she works for the cruise line as well. So she used to work for the cruise line, and they had certain levels, and they're like level orange
At the ports, yeah.
at the ports. So, for her, I'm thinking, is anybody else, you're going to a major event. I mean, you're going to Super Bowl, Orange Bowl, Rose Bowl, they're going to pick up security. And it's been hard because you don't want to not go to these events. You don't want to cancel them. So much is invested, but then you have to bring up so much security. And I worry about that. I'm like, that could have been my mom. You know what I'm saying? Just like making your way around New Orleans and making your ways to the events and stuff like that. And then this shit happens. And it just like makes you not want to do nothing. Makes you not want to go out. It makes me want to stay home, read, eat Cheetos, and cherry coke all day. Like, I'm chilling in my house. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the way we live. That's not the way we want to live. But it's like, it's so sad to hear the situation, especially on New Year's. And I was like, oh, we started with the BS this year. And I was just like, I felt so bad. It was a really shocking story just to see that. But then what happened after that was there was a Cybertruck explosion, and they thought that they were not simultaneously happening, but that they were connected in some way. So here are my thoughts. At first, I thought they were connected. I still could be wrong. Who knows? Because the other gentleman, he was also military. He was also in front of the Trump hotel. It's just the president.
The circumstances.
Circumstances is just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So in our friend group, there was also another discussion about these fires. That there's another controversy around it. They were saying that P. Diddy might have been the cause of it, or like, it's just like you can't like, say no.
Real estate developers are burning to take real estate to build condos.
We can't dismiss it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the circumstances are just so extraneous at this point. It's like you can't dismiss it, but some of them just seem totally outrageous. You know, but this is the things that are happening that we have to take into consideration. I'm like, is this what's really happening? Is this what the root of the cause is?
Yeah.
So that whole Cybertruck, and when I first saw the video, and I was like, play it again. And I said this here, I was like, play it again. There's fireworks in the fucking car.
There are fireworks, but then they said that the fire happened. They don't know where the fire started, but when you look at the video, the smoke is evenly distributed. It's not like it's coming from one corner of the car. You know, like, I feel like this was a staged attack. That's what I think so.
You think there was staged?
So.
Yeah.
Because the smoke is evenly coming from both directions. I mean, from the both wheels at the same time.
So you're an arsonist expert. I got it. Okay. Just because you looked at the video.
I looked at the video. I watch a lot of movies. A lot of military movies.
Okay. Anywho.
You want to play the video?
Yeah.
In the investigation into the man behind the Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas. Late today, police saying the driver left behind notes on his phone, detailing his actions and clues to a possible motive. Newly released surveillance video shows Army Green Beret Matthew Livelsberger at a Tesla charging station during his trip to Las Vegas. That chilling video of his final destination, the Trump Hotel. Authorities say Livelsberger died by suicide just before that blast. And they say in the notes he left behind, he railed against the United States, but he held no animosity toward the president-elect. And he wrote, quote, "This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call." ABC's Mola Lenghi leads us off in Las Vegas again tonight.
Tonight, authorities saying the highly decorated Green Beret suspected of using explosives to blow up that Cybertruck outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas left behind notes found on his cell phone, providing clues to a possible motive.
And in there,
but they were saying that he was already dead.
We are the United States of America,
yes,
the best
they were saying that he was
people to ever
unalive
exist. But right now, we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse.
Right, they were saying he had a gunshot from his mouth.
They said that he did something like,
but they said the bullet. But a lot of experts online were saying if he really did kill himself in front of the building, how come we don't see the exit wound on top of the car?
Boom, there you go. Unless he did it simultaneously.
No, but they're saying that this was a ploy. Another conspiracy theory was that he was killed off-site. They drove the car there, and then they just remotely detonated.
Wait a minute. But it looked like there was a body moving.
He wasn't moving.
How did the car back up? Oh, because it's self-driving.
No, well, it backed up. That wasn't in front of the building. That was when the charging station.
Oh, I thought
that wasn't in front of the Trump Tower.
I was gonna say, and I'm like, oh, so you're saying because it auto drives, somebody could have just, bro, you just got my mind. Just
at the same time, we have events that are happening in LA. We have the Consumer Electronics Show that happens every year around this time. So there's different events that's happening out there.
Yo, this is about connecting the dots, guys. This is about connecting the dots. But it looks like it looked like he committed suicide prior to the truck exploding. But they were saying that, do they think that these events are connected? They don't know. They don't want to assume, or whatever the case may be. It's just so many different circumstances that are happening in such a short amount of time. And I don't want to use the media as an excuse to say, yeah, this is true, whatever. We always need the facts. And we're not always presented with the facts all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't there. I can't investigate. I can't get detailed reports. So I only can go by what the information that I'm given. And if I was to do another separate investigation and something was to come up, I'd be more than happy to share with you. But that's not the case. These are the sources that we have. But it's very sad to hear that like something like this happened. And it's like, it reminds us of the story, the big headlines from last year about Luigi and the insurance. Just think about it. He's saying that it's a wake-up call. A wake-up call for what? How America's been treating their military, however they're treating people with mental health.
Not America, it's the whole country.
It's the whole country. It's just everything.
All the corporate greed. It's just a lot of things going on.
So I know you guys are aware of the story about Luigi. I forgot his last name. I
think Manfredi. Manfredi.
So a lot of the controversy that's been surrounding that is that he went ahead and he shot. He
unalived the CEO.
He unalived a CEO
of United Healthcare.
Of United Healthcare. So what's happening is a lot of people are praising him because of all the different circumstances that are surrounding that. People that are ill, people that are sick are being denied special surgeries or, being denied benefits and things like that. So it's like, it's not an excuse to do that to somebody, but yet he's being praised for doing that. So it's just like
even up to they raised enough money to hire a lawyer to pay for his lawyer fees, but then the lawyer didn't accept the money. He's like, I'm not taking the money from that was raised. But then now he's getting all the commissary money. They're just flooding for the commissary, and he's just distributing the money in the prison. He's distributing it amongst all the inmates.
And he's with P. Diddy.
Yeah, and then now
Puff Daddy, P. Diddy,
yep.
Sean Puffy.
My man paying for his protection. My man is distributing the money however he can because he's just flooding in. People are just like, they're hailing him as a hero.
Yeah. You can't hail somebody that is a criminal. You can't hail somebody that's a murderer. You can't. And that's just, I guess that's just my humble opinion. But, there's not an excuse that there's not enough reasoning in the world for you to go ahead and take actions upon yourself without consequences. But thinking about all these different events, the consequences of living in New York, what is going on with these congestion pricing? If shit is not expensive enough, they went ahead and did congestion pricing. If you ain't got an easy pass, if you ain't got I'm trying to think of the word.
You need minimum $100 in your account.
In your account.
Every time.
Minimum.
A minimum.
Minimum. So your ass has to go take the train or take longer than railroad.
Yep.
Because it's just unfair for everybody that's commuting, that are coming from different ways and go to work every day. You going in 5 days a week. If you come in 5 days or 6 days a week, however you're coming in, you got to drive every time. Y tú tienes que pagar cada vez que entra. That's crazy.
Well, it's only the Midtown area.
But still.
Anything on the
it's a popular area. That's what I'm saying. 59th Street.
Now they got videos of all these the firefighters on skateboards. They gotta come put out fires and skateboards
because they have to pay too, right?
Yeah, nobody's excluded from this. Even me that works for, I'm not gonna say, but I'm not excluded from this. I still have to pay.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. You want to play that?
It is what it is.
It is what it is, right? Again.
The first car is getting charged for congestion pricing as they pass through those scanners right behind me. It is 12:01 on January 5th, which means that New York City is officially the first city in the United States to implement congestion pricing. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you are traveling south of 60th Street, you will be charged $9 if you are traveling during peak hours, which is Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., weekends, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As for the overnight toll, it'll be $2.25, and these prices are for sedans, SUVs, pickup trucks, and small vans. Larger trucks, buses, and motorcycles have a different rate. There are credits and discounts available for some drivers, and while congestion pricing is starting at $9 during peak hours, the MTA has already warned us that it will increase to $12 in 2028 and $15 in 2031. Signs have also been put up to warn drivers they are entering the congestion relief zone and that there is one last turn to make before you are charged. Of course, this has been a highly debated topic with delays upon delays and lawsuits upon lawsuits, but it is officially here and the money is set to go to improve our public transit system. These are some of the first
Yeah,
cars.
but what if they have to pass that area in order to go pick up the fare? Ellos tienen que pagar separado.
Well, if they're in the area, then it's no problem. You know,
Espérate, so do they have to pay? Once you're in the area,
Yeah, once you're in the area, it should be good.
you pay once.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay again.
No, it's every time you come out and then you come back into the zone.
Wait.
But
So twice?
If you let's say if you pick up somebody in 34th Street and now you're going past 60th Street, it's not just exiting; it's just coming in into that zone.
It's not on exit.
No.
I have to verify that.
But if you're coming in from uptown to midtown, you got to pay once, and then you got to go back uptown. They got to pay them. Come back in again, you got to pay again. It's not like it's a one fare thing, and then.
Yo, this is BS.
Yeah.
I have a map. Did I give you the map? The photo for the map?
I do. Hold on. Let me see.
Can I give you the map? Let me see if I have the map. Yeah. I don't know if you can see the map. Can you see that?
No, hold on. I gotta.
You're gonna move it, right?
Okay, I'll move it. Share the window. Put a screen sharing the window.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So here we are, folks. Here we are. So, okay.
Look at this. Look at this.
So, Lincoln Tunnel, $27. Okay? If you do not have the Easy Pass, Easy Pass is in purple, regular prices is in red. If you need, oh my God. Really? Verrazano, I think it's
Look at this. Queens Midtown Tunnel, $12.95. $20. I used to pay $6.50 going into the city when I used to work for a certain
but how long ago?
Financial institution.
It's almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most of it was like $7.50,
a decade
$8.
ago. Yeah, that was a decade ago because
That's insane.
You've been where you at now for 10 years now.
Yep, that is insane.
Williamsburg Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge, Verrazano, but guys, take the train. And then there's a funny video about a guy talking about the trains. But what do we do about that? We just have to accept the facts. Just like with our health, we know we can't change. We only can try to do what we can to do with what we got. So if you do not have to drive to the city, don't drive. But if you have to, you have to. But take the train. Please take public transportation because it's not worth it.
These are some funny videos.
Yeah, we have some funny videos to share with y'all because I was just like, are you kidding me with this? This is crazy. Yo, I didn't realize it was $27. I took a look at the map and I was just like, yo, that's crazy, my man. Yo, I can't.
What can I say it? Hold on, let's see.
When I fell into the coma, we were still chirping. We were still on Boost Mobile. Back then, you could rob people on the train. That was like a misdemeanor if they caught you, but that was totally legal back then, man.
Whoa. My man, where you from?
Rush.
Stop screen share.
Yeah, and then I think you'll be able to do it now. Yeah,
there we go.
There we go.
There we go. Just
You
refresh
have to
this.
refresh it.
Manhattan with this congestion pricing.
Yeah, man, a lot of people think because of this congestion pricing thing that MTA workers were making more money now. No, it's the same thing. I'm just a blue-collar worker.
Yeah, I fell into a coma around 2002. I mean, New York City's changed, bro. It's not the same no more.
How you gonna charge New Yorkers, people who were born here, to come into their own city? That's not right. So I thought I charged all these transplants that like to use New York culture.
Oh, these
for
transplants.
themselves. The other day I was in Brooklyn, I heard this dude on the phone. He was like, yo, dead ass? I was like, yo, B, where you from? He was like, I'm from Wisconsin, man. I was like, oh, you from Wisconsin? $5. Come about that shit.
Hello? Yes. Marble flooring. Come on, man. I put it in the email.
When I fell into the coma, we were still chirping. We were still on Boost Mobile. Back then, you could rob people on the train. That was like a misdemeanor if they caught you, but that was totally legal back then, man.
Oh, man, it's mad bricks outside.
Whoa, whoa,
There's mad bricks outside.
whoa. My man, where you from?
Russia.
What part of Russia?
St. Petersburg, culture capital of Russia. Every second person's a guitar
I'm
player.
gonna stop you right there. I don't even know what the just said. Just cut it out 30 hours right now.
You know what? Just make it three French bulldogs. Just charge the card, man.
Before, when I fell into
He
the
acting
coma,
like
it
he
was
getting
just
money.
he
He
and
got
she.
nothing.
Now, bro, just to be safe, I'll be like, we. All of us. I call everybody by their title now. I'll be like, taxi driver? Thank you.
You gonna put a ticket on the Maybach?
When a soldier over here, get your ass on. He's charging people to come.
You gonna put a ticket on the Maybach, yo. That shit had me cackling. I was like, yo. I think there was like one more video, right?
Yeah, let's see.
But it's just like, just in terms of like how is it that it's out of control? Like, this is out of control. Out of control. Oh, you were trying to refresh it?
Yeah.
You mean the commuter tax?
Yeah, the commuter tax.
The way we're going to make sure that all the commercial real estate in Manhattan just stays empty? Perfect. We're going to charge the plumbers to come in and fix the piping and the 100-year-old pre-war piles.
on it, though.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to blow up in our faces completely. Just take the cameras down before we do. Put them to good use. Use them to track the trains that you can't seem to find half the time.
See?
It would be nice if we know where they were.
So what you're saying is it's a backwards thinking to tax the people that are going to come in here, fix our buildings, our toilets, basically make our lives better, which is in turn going to cost all of us more.
Well, we didn't take care of the city in the manner that blue-collar people can afford to work here. We kicked everybody out during the pandemic, and a lot of talent left the city and is never coming back. They found greener pastures that are less stressful, and, you know, they have a better shot at retiring.
How about pricing of congestion?
So, well, he makes a very compelling point about how is it like, why are we charging the people that literally work here and charging them to come into work? Like, oh man. And then he's like, why don't we just use the cameras to find where the trains are at? Now listen. This would have been a problem for me when I was commuting, and I can vouch that there have been times where train delays have delayed.
It's a cash grab. This whole thing is a cash grab.
It's hard.
It's making living in New York unaffordable now. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. There's another video though. It's another funny video.
This
is the one where it first started.
This one had me. Yo, the comments is what got me.
TLC police. What happened?
Plate enforcement.
What is that? Oh, like because people are like
Fake plates, covered plates, people that are
fucking unreal. And the thing, I just ordered the one from Amazon. What am I gonna do with it?
Return the shit.
I gotta return it. Fuck. I'll see you later. God bless. My man, you doing the plate enforcement? Is he doing plate enforcement too, or is he just hanging out?
He's in timeout.
He's in timeout. My man, you fucked up. You shouldn't have came in there with that plate. Oh shit, they getting everybody. Yo, they getting everybody out here. Fucking NYPD over here. What's up?
Yo,
Listen, since you guys are out here, I might as well tell you there's a raccoon loose. It's from North Korea. Just be careful, all right? I'm just letting you know. Listen, if you're out here, be careful. There's a raccoon loose. It will get you, all right? It's from North Korea.
It's in North Korea.
Oh, they're getting everybody. This is fucked up.
Yo, here's the thing. I think what got me was the comments with the cop. He's like, yo, Mr. Zesty. I was like, what? I was like, what is going on here? But it's like, we can laugh at these things because these are the things that are out of our control. This is the price of living in New York. You want to live here, you got to pay up. And that's basically what it is. So you either got to work another job.
Yeah, suck it up, buttercup.
Suck it up, buttercup. This is where we're at. But thinking about another content.
That's why I'm glad I only got to go maybe once every few weeks into the city.
Yeah. It's not too
take
crazy.
the train in.
Yeah, but I feel like for us, we when we want to go to the city, I'm taking the train. I'm not going to drive.
Unless I have to.
Unless we have to. But that's a very, very slim chance of that happening. But I want to talk about parent thoughts. And there's like a few topics that are here, but I don't know if you just want to pick one to kind of focus on. Or
we can talk about both. We can talk
talk
about
both.
Yeah,
okay.
the second one's quick.
So
I have my thoughts on it too.
So in this segment, what we want to talk about is what lessons have been learned, or what can we learn from these lessons? Because as parents, we're always constantly trying to figure out how do we manage our own emotions and managing the other emotions of our children, right? But there's always some circumstances that come up, and there's certain situations that test your limits, test your patience.
Yep.
But I think in our next set of series, in our live sessions, I'm gonna kind of like dig in onto some unique topics and see, what are our thoughts about that. And what was the first one you wanted to talk about?
We're gonna talk about Virginia NICU nurse accused of breaking bones on purpose.
All right, cool.
Breaking baby bones on purpose.
All right, cool. So
this is
we're gonna do this in two parts. So I'm gonna follow this story up in my other podcast, which is because I'm always so busy. If These Scrubs Can Talk is a health focused podcast where I work with a great friend of mine, Ariana, and we're talking about our journey.
Classmates.
Classmate. And we're talking about our journey in nursing school, and we're talking about different things. We're going to be helping you teach, helping you study, talking about our stories and stuff like that. So if you have a chance, go please check that out. We'll put the link on for you. It's called If These Scrubs Can Talk. So we're going to talk about Could Talk podcast, and we're going to be talking about this stuff, but I think we're going to be breaking it down more, just in the relevance of why did it happen. But as a parent.
In the medical field.
But as a parent, you going for the wrong Stephanie.
Yeah, this is a.
You come for the wrong one.
I found this on TSR, the Shade Report. The Shade Room report, and this one that says Virginia NICU nurse accused of breaking baby's bones on purpose.
Yeah, let's go take a look at
So
that.
I sent this to her, so let's check this out. I was like, what the hell?
The jail.
Somebody's got to be held accountable.
This NICU nurse in Virginia accused of the unthinkable, going on a spree, breaking baby's bones on purpose.
I got to do something.
Hospital staff told his dad that one of his twins had a broken leg.
It was pain. That was their first emotion.
And it allegedly happened to over a half dozen babies at the same hospital. All of them
like nothing there.
With one similar trait. I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates.
Justin Carter, baby. This is Neonatal Nightmares. The title.
It may be easy to justify one baby breaking a bone in a neonatal intensive care unit, also known as a NICU in a hospital, but 7 babies in the course of a year or so. It's why the NICU at the Henrico Doctors Hospital, Richmond, Virginia, is shut down right now. In 2023, the hospital started noticing, quote, unexplainable fractures amongst their newborn babies. Dominique Hackey was one of the first parents to come forward after one of his twin boys suffered an unexplainable tibia fracture. It would take a year for him and his family to realize that they wouldn't be the only family going through the same thing.
All right, so let's talk about it. So from a medical perspective, when you talk about a tibial fracture, the tibial fracture, especially for a newborn baby, they have to be in a cast. And any type of fracture of that sense, you need a cast. The baby's not even a week old. If you're in the NICU, they are so fragile to begin with. And sometimes there can be broken bones that can happen accidentally. But to have 7 cases within the same hospital in the same year.
But now, was it like the same bones every time, or was it
different injuries and every time?
The arm
we're not
time,
sure because they didn't explain.
Ankle.
They didn't explain. So my only assumption is if the same injury occurred for the 7 cases, that would probably make your eyes pop and like, wait a minute, how are these still, all these NICU babies still having the same fracture on the tibia legs?
But with that X-ray, they're like they're completely gone.
Oh yeah,
it's like no bone.
It's a
connected to the ankle, like
it's
nothing. It's crazy.
So they're gonna have to wrap the baby, and that baby's it's not out walking, so that's a good thing. Thank God, in that sense, that they're not gonna be walking. But now they're in a cast for God knows how long. I mean, they're fairly young. The healing process is gonna be a little bit faster for them. But just imagine as a parent, you're coming out, and your baby has a broken bone. Explícame, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Like somebody would have to check me because I'm checking somebody. Boop, boop. But now here's the thing. I have to take a step back. I can't resort to violence right away.
Right.
You need to get evidence. You need to get the facts. You need to get the understanding. You need to get all the details. So now that we're getting these details, what would you do as a parent if you found out that there was a nurse that was purposefully...
Oh, I have a fit.
Oh.
They wouldn't even let me in the hospital. I'll be back. You
know what I'm saying? So what your thoughts? What would your first reaction be? Was like,
I was outraged. I was upset. Like, why would you do this to... This is...
These innocent babies.
Innocent baby just coming into the world, This baby's innocent.
Yeah. Unknowing that doing nothing wrong. And this is why we have to be super vigilant when we're hiring people. And I can't emphasize this enough. When working as a healthcare worker, not only do you have to check on your workers, you have to check on their well-being, you have to check on their mental status, you have to check on their physical. Like, are they able to handle this stuff? Or are they not all here? And that happens. There's so many crime documentaries about nurses that have been killing people with insulin and people going into cardiac arrest. Okay? Potassium push. Now, let me tell you something. I know you're out there, the nursing people. You never push potassium. Why? Because it causes cardiac arrhythmias. You can't do that. They were doing the same thing with insulin. And I'm like, you can't do this. You have to check on these people, these criminal people. And these people have a lot of skill. If you have nurses that have a lot of skill, okay? I know where all your bleeding points are at. I cut you. You're done. You're bleeding out.
Angel of death.
Angel of death. Sometimes they're called the angel of mercy, but still, there's so many things that take into part when working in these kind of facilities. Like, you just got to be mindful. Just got to be mindful. And I, as a parent, whoo, somebody will have to drag me off that NICU floor.
Right? There's another segment, too, that was going to get you even more pissed off.
Oh, my God.
You ready for it?
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. So I'm just, me, in the beginning of the episode, talking about I'm trying to unfuck my anger. And yet these situations are like triggering me. Yeah. They trigger me. And that's the thing that I have to keep from. And this is not things that are happening to me personally. But because they're happening, it triggers something in me.
These are articles that I send stuff. You don't find these.
I don't find them.
They show up on my feed.
I get triggered. I'm like,
so this is the next one. A staff at a middle school in Texas have been fired after a student with severe nonverbal autism was left lying on the ground for 2 hours with a broken femur bone.
Today, Herman Benserto relieved to see 11-year-old Kyle feeling better. Just 3 weeks removed from this.
Your poor son was suffering.
Yes, for 2 hours. It was like an animal struggling on the road and people just surrounding it, waiting for him to die. That's how I describe it. I'm sorry, but it looks like that way.
It was November 5th, the Bensertos got the call from Quail Valley Middle School that Kyle, who is nonverbal with severe autism, wouldn't get up off the floor. His mother drove to the school, found him still there, and called her husband.
I heard in the background, the nurse was asking, do we need to call an ambulance? And I was like, what? They don't know? And my son has already been lying there for 2 hours. So I told him, yes.
Kyle was finally taken to the hospital and admitted. He underwent surgery to insert a metal plate and 8 pins in his left thigh after an x-ray showed he had shattered his femur.
You can hear this on the phone that he was screaming. He was screaming there. So how come they don't know what to do?
Kyle's mother took this video, but since then,
I was able to sit and watch the entire 2 hours and 15 minutes of the video.
attorney Joe Matthew has been able to watch the classroom video of the incident.
I don't know what happened in this case. It's ridiculous what happened.
He says he saw Kyle slip and fall. The rest is shocking.
What do? They just leave him on the ground. They leave him on the ground for 2 hours while they're sitting around. They're talking, they're laughing, they're eating lunch, they're ordering orange chicken.
In a statement to ABC 13, Fort Bend ISD said, quote, staff members involved in this incident are no longer employed by the district. We remain committed to creating a safe and secure learning environment for
this is the end of the video, right?
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, right.
every student. For now, Kyle is confined to a wheelchair to get around. His parents and Matthew seeking answers.
What are the policies and procedures? We don't want this to happen to any other kid.
Kyle, the most vulnerable kind, his father says it will be hard to trust again.
The neglect, incompetence of those people, they need to know what's going on with a kid.
Okay.
You.
Today, Herman
All right. So let's break it down. As a parent, what are your thoughts?
Angry.
Angry. As a health professional, the father hit it on the nail. Incompetent. When you're in any
But he's
type
talking
of
about
situ-
school faculty. Not the nursing, not the medical side.
What? No. Whatever. Whoever was there, there must have been a school nurse. Don't get me started.
Well,
Don't even get me started. The incompetency of the nurse staff, whoever was there. Okay, there had to have been an RN around the school. You have to have one. Okay, there might be a shortage in teachers, but there has to be at least one nurse in the building. Okay, the incompetency that is laid around that, and here's what I tell you why. Anytime in my own personal experience, if there is inconsolable crying, there is something wrong. Any relief, anything that could be done, and they're still crying, there's an underlying reasoning for that. Okay? It does not excuse that he's autistic. That doesn't matter. He is still giving an emotion. He is still crying. He is still saying something is wrong with me through my crying. That is a sign. That is something.
That's how he's communicating.
That is how he's communicating. Okay? Same thing like when a baby is crying, something's wrong. You don't know what exactly. Are they hungry? Are they wet? Are they dirty? Do I have pain? They're communicating through crying. You just can't assume that because he's autistic, that he's just crying because he's just crying. Something's wrong. Why does he have to sit there for 2 hours? You give that man 5 minutes for crying. And if he's inconsolable, something else is up.
Mm-hmm.
Follow it up. Oh yeah, listen. He's not crying. He hasn't moved. Something's up. Let's go call the ambulance. Let's go call somebody. Let's level it up. Let's see.
Why didn't they call the parents after 5 minutes?
They waited 2 hours.
Why they wait 2 hours?
I have no idea. Incompetent.
They all complicit.
Incompetent. Complacent. Okay.
And complicit.
Ordering orange chicken.
Well, they all, yeah. And they got fired. So all those parties involved.
Deuces. Bye.
Yep.
I would not. Again, when you hire staff, whether in medical, in schools, and anything, in any particular position where you are taking care of others and being sure that you are there to be useful, okay? You're not standing around dilly-dallying trying to figure out what's going on. Common sense is not common. If the child is still crying after 5 to 10 minutes and he's still on the floor, why are you asking if ambulance needs to be called? You have to take it further. What's going on? What's wrong? He's not moving. Is there something else? It doesn't matter if he can't communicate. He's communicating through you through his crying. Point blank. That's it. Nothing else. Incompetent. Lack of action. Lack of information. Lack of just any sort of intelligence. And to have the understanding, like, you literally have my child laying there for 2 minutes? 2 hours? You out your mind. Yeah. You out your mind. And those are my thoughts. And those are my thoughts. What would you think? Or what would you see as another situation or something else that would have been to address this situation? Like, what would you have done or what would have been done? I don't know. I wasn't there. But I know for me, that would have not happened. So, I don't know about you guys. The lesson we learned today is you can't trust everybody.
You can't trust anybody.
You can't trust nobody these days. So, I don't know. That to me is just very frustrating. But I want to thank you guys for joining us today on our live sessions. We're going to try to do our sessions, I think, I don't know what day, because our schedules are changing in another 2 weeks. I go back to school. He's working OT. We're trying to figure out our lives, but we want to continue with these live sessions to talk to you, be vulnerable with you, talk about what's going on with us. We want to know what's going on with you guys. But we're so excited to start the new year. We're doing better as well as we can, as everybody else can do. And we're keeping positive, and we want to give everybody nice health and blood. Yeah, I know, a lot of gray hairs. Mine's a cover.
What a great hairs now.
I got more gray hairs here. But we want to wish you guys the best, and we will let you know when we're going to have another live session. We'll keep you updated on social media. But if anything you want discussions in terms of like new topics or anything you want to discuss with us, come join us on the live. Yeah. It's fun.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's Go Knicks. There's a game tonight, so we're trying to wrap it up so we could go see the game. That's it. Guys, have an amazing day. Have a good night. And Happy New Year. Take care, y'all.
Later, guys.
See ya.